Cool. Here we go. And welcome everyone to Poke World broadcast. And today we're doing a exclusive interview, and I'm very glad to have Matt, CEO of Apillon with us today. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you, Kristen.
Our focus today is on the developer tools in the Polkadot ecosystem, and Apillon has been building a suite of tools and APIs to make it much easier for Web2 developers to deploy on blockchain. And without further ado, let's dive in. Matt, to start off, what really motivated you to found Apillon?
So we started building in Polkadot 4 years ago, and we quickly saw that it's a lot of background work to be done to deploy something on Polkadot. So there was a huge burden or a huge learning curve to bring developers into the space. And we kind of got tired of watching developers spend 80% of their time to just figuring out how to connect to a blockchain instead of actually building. So we went ahead and thought, okay, why not turn it into a Web3 game that developers want to play, but not really a puzzle they don't understand how to solve, right? So we started working with different parachains in Polkadot. We abstracted away the core functionalities into simple services. So for example, compute on ACRest, storage on Crust, killed identity, and this kind of snowballed into the platform as it is today. So we wanted really to make it easier to enter the space and without having to understand how blockchain actually works in the background. And we understood that the Web3 developer space is very much limited. And if we want to grow it, we have to introduce blockchain technology to Web2 developers. Hence why we abstracted and made it in a very simple way so that Web2 developers who have no clue on how Web3 works can start building on Web3 without having to understand how it works.
Yeah, the purpose of creating Apillon is, you've already suffered the learning curve of the blockchain.
Yes.
Okay, so will you design?
We actually built. I mean, this was done internally for us first. So we built Apillon as a tool for ourselves to make it easier and quicker to be on the market, and soon realized, okay, this potential could be the product itself. It doesn't have to be a tool for ourselves. Others might benefit from it as well, and this is when we went open.
Yeah, cool. And so you design tools and how do you make them feel, initiative and approachable to developers who may be brand new to Web3?
Yeah, I mean, the mantra kind of was, if your mom cannot understand the docs, then start over. So we wanted to really make it user friendly for developers to are very familiar with the look and feel of the Web2 world, but open it up in the Web3 way. So they don't have to have a PhD in cryptography to store file or spin up a wallet. They shouldn't. Just like today, we don't think about HTTP, FTP, SMTP when we browse the web. Those are protocols nicely hidden away, but they became a necessity, or they become a common good stuff on the way we operate on the internet today. And this was our mission from the beginning. Take the protocol as a blockchain is, abstract it away and hide it so they don't see the ugly plumbing behind every API. So they just can focus on the workflow that feel very familiar to a Web2 developer.
Yeah, make sure they don't know. They don't have to know about blockchain.
Yes.
Speaking of that, based on your design principles, which features or tools on Apillon, are developers finding most useful or popular right now?
Yeah, I think that right now embedded wallets are definitely the rock star, because to be fair, every app on Web3 today needs a wallet, and I think this is still the biggest obstacle to any new user entering Web3. Right, they have to create a wallet, save mnemonics, save seed phrases, make sure it's backed up, make sure it's secured somewhere very secure, nobody can see it. I mean, this is something that users still don't understand when they enter Web3, that how important a wallet and its maintenance is. Hence, the embedded wallets that we've built, they're completely no seed phrases, no awkward onboarding. It's just one line of code that basically every app can become a wallet. So even YouTube or the streaming platform that we're using today, instead of log in and sign up free, that could be log in with a wallet, and it's really frictionless. The user gets a wallet, that gets an address, and can start operating with it today. So I think the embedded wallets definitely are the biggest rockstar right now, followed by storage and compute. So storage via the Crust pinning service. Data is being stored on IPFS. So it gives a first entry of saying, okay, how can I store my data on chain? And we did it through two different ways, either a command line tool where you import it into your existing application, or you have a nice user interface, which is very familiar to a Google Drive or Dropbox functionality, where users just drag and drop files over, and the files are then pinned on the IPFS and stored there for indefinitely, basically.
Well, it is true. For me, I've been in blockchain since 2018, and I've been using the Web3 wallet, but it still gave me headache.
Yes.
um, I think before 1 week ago, I tried to try some incentives in Polkadot ecosystem. There are 2 or 3 incentives uh, in Polkadot ecosystem. They require
Yeah.
to bridge and have to this kind of action. It really takes me 1 hours to go through all the procedures. I don't
Yeah.
know why it's so, still so difficult. It's been years.
And even after years, we still send a small amount first when we send
Yeah.
transactions. We know we are familiar with it. I actually made a mistake the other day myself.
Mhm.
I've sent some funds from Hydration directly to Kraken.
Mhm.
I didn't bridge them first to the Polkadot native onto the relay chain. So
Uh-huh.
I have a couple of dots now on Kraken on the Kraken deposit address, but they're not visible on my Kraken account because they're
Mhm.
stuck in between some. So they just have to create a cross chain messaging call, but Kraken is still not able to do so. So they're still a bit locked
Yeah.
up. But
Yeah.
even after I've been in crypto now for 8 years, and even after 8 years, still the same.
Yes, and for Polkadot ecosystem, it's more complicated. When you want
Mm.
to send a dot, you have to choose which parachain your dot are
Yes.
in. So it's really difficult, and it's really a a problem that we have to solve. We have to lower the entry barrier for
Yeah.
developers and for
But I think we
users.
have very good teams. I mean, working on that. We have the UX bounty, very much making sure that
Hmm.
stuff is being filtered out. The
Hmm.
Nova team is doing amazing stuff with the Nova wallet. Hydration is doing great stuff on the DeFi side. And also, I mean, all the different bounties, be it the DeFi tooling bounty, be it the PAL bounty, being the BD bounty, a lot of teams are working hard to find those issues and
Hmm.
make them disappear in order to get a nicer user experience and get more developers into the space.
If a wallet have don't people don't have to care about the seed, but where the seed will be saved.
Yes, good question. The seed is saved in a trusted private smart contract. So basically, the whole seed trace is generated in a trusted executable environment and TEE in a smart contract. So basically, what we do is we trigger the smart contract, and nor we nor the smart contract knows the seed. It
Mm-hmm.
just queries the chain and signs transactions. So it's a very unique approach. I like to call it, it's a software ledger because there's no
Hmm.
hardware device. It's used like a software ledger
Hmm.
um, without anyone having the capability of exposing the private key. Only the user itself, via its biometrics, has the possibility to export the private key.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Talking about the adoption. Yeah.
Yes.
I think wallet can really lower the entry barrier for developers, for Web3 users. Uh, there are a lot of tools out there in Polkadot ecosystem. They are trying to lower the developers' entry barrier, but only
Yeah.
a few gain attractions. It is a truth, and some tools they have a few developers are using them. So how does Apillon actually attract and support developers? And is it through incentives, incubation, partnerships, or something else?
All of the above, just like you mentioned right now. So I mean, we try to be present on every conference there is. We try to be present on different hackathons, incubation programs, incentives, with airdrops, with corporations, with collaborations between parachains. um, we also, like I said, we work closely with the parachains and say, look, we need this and this and this. We are running a big campaign. We help them by abstracting it away and make it easier. But in short, it's really just, we don't want just do some handouts and look, this is it. They want working tools and some ideas. So we also run very active. It's not like a mini hackathon, but we throw ideas out and say, look, and specifically, I mean, Pixel Proof will be something like that to showcase, look, there can be Web3 alternatives to Web2 tools, and you can build them today. So we encourage developers through our websites, through our socials, say, look, we have ideas for these specific applications. Why don't you come over and build them with Apillon? And because we are limited with our development power, we want to have other developers come into the space. We're obviously, again, I'll take here Pixel Proof as an example, right? We're going to take Pixel Proof and showcase what's possible to be built on Apillon, and then hopefully this will kick off a wave of new developers coming in there and say, oh, cool, that's nice and easy to build. I have an idea and I'll build something else.
Yeah. There are all other, it just pop up in my mind that you're attending meetings to attending as much meetings as possible to get in touch as many developers possible.
Yeah.
And there are project in Polkadot ecosystem. They are trying to build tools for Solana ecosystem to bringing them to attract the Solana developers into Polkadot ecosystem.
Yes.
So are they competitive to Apillon, or are Apillon working on a specific ecosystems to target on the specific developers group? Just
Well, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just a question pop up in my mind.
Yeah. No, I mean, we are aware of the situation that if you only offer Apillon into Polkadot, it's a very limited scope of developers that's going to be interested in building right today. So we just recently also expanded our EVM capabilities to other chains so that EVM compatible chains can come onto Apillon, start deploying and exploring, and see, oh, I can do this much cheaper, much faster, more secure on Polkadot, thus kind of creating this new traction, new onboarding flow. Solana wasn't or isn't on our list just yet because we were just focusing on the EVM stuff, specifically with Polkadot and Jam and PVM and all this kind of stuff coming up. However, we are always open to exploring new opportunities, obviously, to open up new channels with new developer tools like Hyperbridge, Snowbridge, already opening up new channels into Polkadot, right? We're definitely going to make use of those technologies to make it easier for developers to build on top of it.
And also Parity is phasing out PDP and Polkadot developer portal. So
Yes.
are there similar work compared to your works?
It's in a much lower level, right? So PDP is deploying directly parachains, right? We are very much on the application level. We completely abstracted away. However, it would make sense and would be good to discuss and see how we could integrate PDP into Apillon. So we have kind of all stages of development inside of Apillon, not just the dApp deployment, but also the parachain. And since it's anyhow open source, it could be very much and easily integrated into Apillon, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Apillon is much more for the users level. So
Yes.
apps level. So developers often sometimes need case studies to get inspired. So just last month we saw your Pixel Proof proposal pass, and it is true that initially Polkadot actually voted against it, but later we changed it to support it. I personally was convinced when you said, at this stage Polkadot shouldn't be conservative, and this sentence really changed my idea. So we should try more things. So could you share a bit more on that? What kind of applications or experience are you most excited about right now for the use cases?
I think, like we discussed, right? I think that we are currently not in a position to say and kind of lay back and say, okay, we only need tooling and we only need some core level protocol development stuff, because we've been doing this for the past 4 or 5 years in Polkadot, I believe. And it's about time that everybody knows, understands what Polkadot is capable of. And just say we're good enough. It's good enough. And I know for the past 4 or 5 years, it was always Polkadot kept innovating and we kept delivering great stuff, but nobody knew about that. So I think it's about time. And I think I'm also very much in favor of Max, the Bolos initiative to kind of create a treasury VC bounty in a sense, right? To have new capital flow into potential startups that want to build on Polkadot. So I think back to pixel proof, I think it's an experiment. It's not an expensive experiment. I think it's a proof of concept to just showcase, look, we need something more quirky, some bold, or something that solves a real problem in a way that obviously Web2 applications have the user experience or the user flow where it's very easy for us to get onboarded, right? You log in with Google and that's it. But behind the scenes and what's happening with your own data, a lot of stuff is being done. I always like to tell the story because I used to work in IT and I know how data is being, I'm not saying manipulated, but used for the profit of different companies, right? And when I talk to my friends and say, look, obviously it's good to know that when you sit in your car and drive somewhere that, don't take this route because it's going to be 10 minutes longer, right? Or if Google gives you some information based on your photos or locations, right? It's for you, it's very beneficial. But in the background, they're using the same data to make money and profit for them, not for you, right? You give them the data, but they make profit on top of it, right? So having this ownership and knowing transparency, knowing what's being done with your data and how your data is being utilized, and you having the control to say, okay, you can use my data, but I want a profit share out of my data, right? Because on average, Google makes around $1,000 per user worldwide per year, right? So I wouldn't mind $1,000 a year, right? If I'm making pictures, if I'm driving for you and analyzing the traffic for you, right? It's a lot of information points that they get from me. So I think this kind of stuff to say, okay, I as an end user have the power to decide how my data is being monetized, and me getting a fraction of it or a portion of it would be nice. But at least having this control over data with different new applications would be very nice.
Yeah, cool. I think the core value of Web3 is the ownership of data and your own asset. Well, people are now in Web3. They're so get attracted by the hype stuff. They wanna the hype incentives, and they wanna the DeFi, and something looks really really fancy for them.
Yeah.
But but it's hard to say, and we don't know which application is going to be the first, the next one that attract the most attractions. So is there any other applications and you would like to share, and which you think is good?
I think the list is very long. I mean, one of the ideas, I don't know, decentralized Luma, for example, right, where
Oh.
you could blacklist some wallets who are no shows for the past 5 events. We've seen it over and over, organizing events, and people just sign up, specifically at large conferences, right? You have so many side events, people just sign up for every event, and then there are 5 events in parallel and they only show up to one, and then one event is fully crowded, the other one is fully empty. And it's bad for the organizer, right, to kind of count on the amount of people to show up, but reality nobody's there, which at the end is not nice for anyone. So having something like this completely decentralized with your wallet, Google Photos, okay, with pixel proof is being done. For example, in general, the whole Google workspace, then some change tracking tools like Jira, Trello, Slack, a truly decentralized communication platform. I know we have Element, but having something completely decentralized running on chain. I mean that I think everything can be decentralized. It's not like everything should be decentralized, but I think there's a lot of stuff that can be done today with the tools that are available. I think we are very much still too much focused on building Web3 innovative stuff around NFTs and so on, but I think that the big honeypot is still by decentralizing existing Web2 applications.
Yeah, cool. I think it seems to me that the logic, the use cases logic is always, let's try what is happening on Web2, and now migrate it to Web3. Let's try it first. I think.
Sorry?
I think
Yeah.
the use cases you've mentioned, the logic is like, let's see what's happening on Web2, and migrate these applications to Web3, and let's try how it works.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
I think I think this is the easiest path of doing so, to have not too costly in development, but just like I said, try it out and see if it picks. If it picks, then great, and we can involve and build further. If not, move on and build the next one.
Okay. Looking ahead, and Polkadot's key technical directions are Polkadot Hub and Gem, and Polkadot Hub is going to launch maybe in December, and the Gem is on the development. So do you see Apillon building tools to support this specifically?
I would like to say yes, but I'm also not sure because I think there's still a lot of uncertainties behind Gem and how exactly it's going to look like and when it's going to come out. We are definitely in talks with teams building Gem today to see the process, but I believe it's still a bit far away. I think when we want, I mean, we definitely want to focus on it right now, what's important right now, but we also are with one foot already exploring the possibilities with integrating Gem.
Okay. Zooming out a little bit, how do you see Web3 infra as a whole evolving in the next 3 or 5 years?
I think it goes a little bit back with what I said earlier with abstracting it away. Like I said, with HTTP or TCP/IP, it's a protocol living in the background today. In the early days, it was used as the protocol to build on and build the internet as we know today. But nowadays, the internet, the front end, the UI doesn't. I mean, even now, if I look at the link, it's that there's no HTTP in front of the link. I have to click on it to see it, right? The HTTP part is completely hidden away. And I think you don't think about those stuff when you open Instagram or browse YouTube or send an email, right? I think Web3 will follow the same path. I think only the value will shift, right? Because of today, there's no value on the protocol of TCP/IP. The whole value is built on top of in the application layer, right? And I think this will become a shift where the whole value will live in the protocol level, and the application layer will have a lower value as it has today. So I think that Web3 is on a path to follow the same, and I think in a few years, users would even know they're on chain, right? They'll just use the apps, they will love it, and developers will quietly build in the background. So I think we're just laying the rails today so that the trains can pass in the future.
Okay. So you still believe that the user experience is the most important thing to improve?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but there are an argument that they believe that value is much more important, because if there's a value behind this, and user experience come to the secondary. because people will try to learn it. For example, the computer.
Yes.
When the computer appears, in the beginning, it's hard for people to use. They have to learn how to type the keyboard. So, do you still believe that user experience comes first?
It I mean, I can from my past. I was working as a graphic designer, website designer, right? And there's a rule: if a user comes to a website and after 5 seconds they don't find what they're looking for, they'll leave and go to another website. And this is still the case for me today, right? If I'm looking for something, if I come to a website and the website looks too complex for me, that it doesn't respond to my needs right away, I'll go back to Google or ChatGPT or any AI and just, okay, I need this. Help me find this, right? Because if I have to go through a website and click and scroll, and I'm already lost. I don't want to be there because I know it's going to be complex on the scroll. So I believe that UX is a big part of the user experience. Specifically, I mean, also our CTO on one of the talks he gave on Poco Decoded last year, I believe, is if we're looking at gaming, for example, right? And a game is a Web3 game, and then I want to show this game to a friend. So I show him the game. It says login. The first thing that pops up, login with MetaMask or Coinbase Wallet, whatsoever. So the user flow is already broken. He has to go outside of the app, create a wallet, connect the wallet, come back. If he's a completely new user, right? Hence why embedded wallets is such a nice feature where you can integrate it into the flow. You just click yes, 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 onboard, done, right? So you don't take your user out of the flow. So in order to gain traction, I think Mythical is also doing a great job here, right? With Pudgy Penguins and FIFA Rivals, NHL Rivals, right? You're not exposed to any crypto Web3 lingo right away. You play the game, but you have the possibility to connect your account down the stretch to Mythical, to the marketplace, and so on, right? So definitely user experience is a big part that will drive the next wave for user onboarding.
Yeah, I agree with you. If someone is very talented and very charming, and but he have a very bad temperature and nobody want to talk to him.
Yeah,
Okay.
true.
To and to wrap up, and what is your advice for young developers who want to break into Web3 or Polkadot ecosystem?
Um, I think in general, I think we shouldn't be chasing buzzwords
Uh,
because right now we have AI and then something new will come. We had NFTs, we had meme coins, now AI is on the rise, something new will come. I think obviously chasing buzzwords is nice, but I think let's chase problems. Let's find a problem that really needs to be solved and build a solution for it. Um, I don't think that every decentralized tool is needed, but also if you build a decentralized tool, um, build it so that you actually have users who will use it, right? Not just for the sake of decentralizing in the building, right? If you find a solution, if you find a problem, build a solution. Maybe it doesn't have to be decentralized, right? But just don't chase the buzzword and try to build it. So build something that your friends or your family will use without asking what blockchain it is on, for example. And maybe also read fewer white papers, write fewer white papers, and ship more code. I think with all the AI tools, with all those vibe coding and so on, I think it's much easier to build a tool today and build a product today as it was 2-3 years ago. So I think the future kind of belongs to builders and not just theorists. So be brave, go out there and try to find the problem and solve it.
hmm. uh, in that aspect, you are very conservative. But password, for AI, for example, for AI, there definitely much more attraction. Maybe it's much easier for them to get succeed, because if you spend a lot of time on this space and nothing, you don't get back, you don't get something, you don't get positive respond for a long time, you will not interest. So if
Yes.
you choose some buzzword, at least they are crowded and people will respond to you.
But again, I agree. I agree on that. But it would also makes you are kind of lost in the sea because
Oh,
everybody who's chasing the buzzword, there are so many teams and building in there. It's hard for you to stand out. Right? You have to be really something special to stand out. So
yes.
I mean, it's okay to be part of the buzzword, but just don't go there just for the sake of it and to be there, but actually making use of it.
Yeah, agree with you. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Uh, we've touched uh, a lot of aspects from Appian, and I think people can learn a lot from our conversation. And we will keep in touch to you and Appian, and hope all of our listeners could follow Appian as well. And we will keep you posted as well. And uh, absolutely in the future. And if you have more updates, we will invite you to our broadcast and the roundtable again. And thank you for your sharing today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
See you.